Hello, this is another episode of John and Tennille.
Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Tennille. Today we wanted to talk about how to view an investment property with a critical eye.
Yeah, so we have this one property here that may require a little bit of work, and we just wanted to go over it with you and kind of see if this is the project that you would want to jump into or not.
That's right. And you know, these are always good deals. You can always fix them up, repair them, of course, and then rent them out and have a rental income that you can collect every month. So
exactly.
We just want to look through this and see if there's any red flags or anything that's worth investing in, and we'll go from there.
All right,
so
great.
Here's the outside of the house. It's actually been vacant for about 10 years.
Yeah, so no one's been in the property, it's been vacant, and there's a few things that we're going to be pointing out. Now, just from the first get-go, you can see the landscaping's really overgrown and a mess. So this is probably an area that, you know, you'd want to get an expense. Your first expense would be landscaping.
And then, John, what do you think about this driveway? Would you repair it? Would you let it go?
I think it could be repaired. There's a lot of cracks, but you know, it's just a driveway, so it's really not that big of a deal. We can get it cleaned up. You'd want to clean up some of this ice plant over here, and then you can see the weeds and the overgrown plants and no grass and etc.
And look at that roof. What do you think about that roof?
Yes, that'll be the next thing we're going to look at.
All right, so now we're at the front door. Just a few. Screen door needs to be fixed. Front door needs to be painted. Let's see what the inside looks like. So it's not really move-in ready per se, but we've got a lot of potential here. We've got some pretty old carpet that we definitely would want to rip up. We've got some funky little furnace that probably just needs to be removed.
Yeah, so here's the plan, is that the first thing that comes to my mind is that we're going to take out this furnace and open the doorway up another, 2 or 3 feet. So you can see where it says open here. So we would just end up opening up that whole space so that when you're walking into the living room there, it would be a much more open.
Bigger entrance.
Right. And then here, there's this doorway that goes into, it's actually a window, it's like the takeout window we call it. So into the kitchen, which we're going to look at in just a second. So looking at the kitchen here, you can see it's pretty closed off and everything's really bad. There's electrical madness going on up here.
That's a huge red flag.
There's no vent pipe for the exhaust. And this is the other side of that wall we were talking about. So the goal here is that we're just going to remove and open up that whole wall and put a little cabinet down with a top on it, and we'll just open this area, and this will end up being
like a breakfast bar.
And this will actually be the dining area, and that's just where we walked in right there at the front door. So the kitchen, the cabinets are just in a complete disarray. They're a real mess. Everything about them is really bad.
The floor looks pretty shot too.
The floor looks shot. Now, there's some evidence of a leaky roof. The actual top of the cabinet had come in on it. And then if we look at the roof, oh, bingo, look at that.
Looks beautiful, doesn't it?
So you can see a lot of peeling paint. There's moisture underneath that wall, so we have a bad roof. And then here's some more evidence of electrical issues. You can see that line going there, and it kind of goes around to this light here. So there's just a mess here. So the goal in this room is we're going to completely gut the kitchen and put a new one in it.
Now we're in the living room. We have this wonderful carpet that would need to be ripped up. Other than that, it looks pretty good, but it leads me back up to the roof. We've got some definite red flags up there. Looks like some leaky roof issues.
Yeah, the roof has definitely been leaking, and it's throughout the whole property. This is just the living area here.
And John, what would you suggest about that heater?
We're going to leave that heater. That wall furnace is fine. It goes to both the services. Should be able to service this whole room. And now here, let's go into this room and really look at some damage. Now the reason why you're seeing blue is because there's a tarp over this skylight.
A patch job, as we would say.
Yeah. And if you look at the leaking that's been going on here, it's pretty tremendous. So
I don't think I've ever seen a ceiling fan look like this before.
Yeah, look at that.
Looks a little soggy.
So you can see, let a roof go too long, it starts dripping down the walls and causing problems like that. And you look at this board, this whole piece of wood here is going to have to be replaced because of the damage.
And then we patch up that sunroof.
Yeah, and you can see it's causing some peeling on the walls.
And the lovely carpet again.
The carpet again, and then if we look over in this corner, you can see a lot of
red flags.
yes, and that's just from the leaky roof. So all that is from the roof. Okay. Okay, so this leads us to the hall bath, or the main service bath for the house. There's a lot of funky dirtiness going on, which really isn't that big of a deal. So you could look at that and go, well, you know what? It's just dirty.
Right, if we can clean it, let's keep it. If it's damaged, that would be a red flag.
But as we look a little bit further, we can go down here, and I don't know if you can tell, but the walls are just this thick, nasty plaster that's on there. And it's all uneven and a real mess. And my recommendation on this is that we just take it down to the studs, redo the plumbing. This tile is horrendous. So I think this whole thing should just be taken out. We're going to leave the tub. These are just some marks on the walls. They just put this pattern of this stucco type of plaster on here. It just looks terrible. Anyway, our advice on this to the owner of this property is just gut this whole bathroom. And we may use this sink and the tub, and that's going to be it.
All right, so we're back in the living room, and there's just one thing we wanted to point out that would be a red flag to most people. You see these nice looking mounds off in the corner here that's laying on top of the carpet. What might look like seasoning actually is not seasoning. It is termite droppings.
Yeah, so these are the actual termite waste that termites,
leave behind
when you got a termite problem. Many of you may have seen these in your house, but these are everywhere. So what this shows is that there's an infestation going on, and if we just kind of look at the ceiling a little bit, you can see those little dark spots there.
That's where they've been nomming on the wood.
Yeah, they've been nomming away. So there is where the damage started. They've been nomming for quite a bit. When they start to show up like this, you know there's a big infestation, and there's just dark spots everywhere.
Nothing that can't be fixed though. Again, all you have to do is rip up the carpet, you do the fumigation, and you repair the roof, and voila, it's like new.
Away we go. So we just wanted to point out that other thing. All right, so now we're going to go out into this little side yard. It's kind of a little bit of a laundry area, and this is like Red Flag City right here. So, one thing about this house...
Here's a red flag right here.
This has a lovely view.
Sure does.
Yeah, that's actually South High School right down there. But, the gas meters here, the gas was turned off because they did a fumigation. That's really not that big of a deal. But, there's a gas line running right there. We got this madness with all this plumbing here. The electrical...
What do you think about the electrical? Any red flags?
The electrical doesn't have a cover on it, a correct cover. It should be made out of steel. This is kind of scary.
Look at that lovely water heater.
All this plumbing that's outside on the floor. And you can see the water heater is just a complete mess.
Sorry, I had it. Oh.
So the water heater is just a complete mess. All right, so there's plumbing down on the exterior of the floor. Then we look at the water heater. You could just see that's a complete mess. It's not vented. There's no cover. All right, the cover's over here. So there's all this madness going on with the plumbing. There's actually a copper line that goes down and goes into the concrete. We have no idea what that means. So there's probably going to just be some plumbing issues that are going on. That's the backyard we were just at. So there's quite a mess here. So anyway, we're going to be putting together a price list on this to see what the repairs are going to be to get this place fixed up.
All right, so now we're back outside to see the outside of the roof, and as you can see, not looking too good.
It's got lots of problems. There's also issues with the eaves here. Right
and obviously
there.
seeing all the issues from the inside of the house, it's a huge red flag that we've got a roofing issue and that we would recommend you just replacing the entire roof.
Yeah. So if you see the blue tarp there, that's that room in that corner.
Like a soggy ceiling fan.
Yeah, so we're getting estimates on all this stuff. We'll follow up.
All right, so we're back out front.
Yeah, so here we are. So now we're just, you know, we have to do an analysis here, right? What's the property worth in its present condition?
That's right.
What's it going to take to fix up the property? And then what's it worth, you know, when you're all done with it? What would the value be at that point?
And how much can you get rent out of it for? You know, is it going to be a rental property that you would want to invest in?
Yeah, so we're going to look at this in a couple different ways. We're going to look at it as fixing it up to rent it and maybe fixing it up to sell it. We'll do a follow-up on this on a complete analysis once we get all the prices for the work.
That's it for John and Tennille. If you have any more questions, please give us a call, 310-261-6268. or visit us at johnandtennille.com.
Yeah, thanks.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.